Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Since the Fed began raising interest rates, the US economy and maybe the world economy as a whole have been in a rolling slump. I think the Fed is now on high watch. The rate of inflation is falling much faster than what we see in the standard indexes. That's great news for risky investments like Bitcoin. Everything we do is geared towards the long term, but long terms are made up of short terms. We have written down that we think Bitcoin will be worth $640,000 by 2030 as our base case. That's what we think will happen. The Bitcoin ETFs have made our bull case, which is $1.5 million, more likely. Later this year, we'll talk about the big effects that Bitcoin ETFs will have. She thinks that Bitcoin's value will go up sharply and that the asset class could become worth over 20 times what it is now, or just over $1 trillion. With BlackRock's help and the help of big hedge funds and institutional buyers, this would push Bitcoin's price above $1 million. As more Bitcoin ETFs are approved, it will be an important moment for the Bitcoin community. Many people have been waiting for this to happen for more than 10 years. Cathie Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, says that the Bitcoin network is decentralized and open, which makes manipulation improbable. Let's start the talk with Cathie Wood. To get your special copy for just under $10, click on the link below. I believe that the Fed raising rates 24 times faster than it ever has was one of the causes of the regional bank problem. That looks like something I've never seen before. Interest rates were raised twice as much by Chairman Volcker as they were 24 times. That's why there was a problem at those banks. Also, you can see that Bitcoin went up during that. It's true. It most likely was ready for the Fed's financing scheme, which was a step towards easing. Then it turned around and went back the other way. We believe the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates. Now, there's a lot of economic info that's hard to understand. When it comes to business, we hear one thing from companies and a very different story from the government. These don't match up. They don't match up at all. That's why I find it very interesting. I think the Fed will realize that the system is under a lot more stress. The regional bank problem was the first sign of this, and we'll see more of it. They will then cut interest rates. We believe that it will become less important to look at real economic data. It has to do with prices going down. Walmart agrees with us that prices need to be lowered. Deflation is that. Inflation is not what that is. It is decline. I also think that the Federal Reserve will be shocked by the fact that prices are falling across the board this year. That's why they're using inflation as their main measure right now. Now that inflation has gone down, they aren't as focused on the real economy. Even if there isn't a slump. Even so, I think we've been in a rolling slump. Inflation is the main thing they are keeping an eye on. We think that prices will go down. They'll still get 2%, but it will keep going down. That's why they'll cut rates. That's great news for risky investments like Bitcoin. It was interesting. I believe it was in. Bitcoin led the market at the end of the fourth quarter and the beginning of January. So if I started to end, we're now watching Bitcoin. We're also selling the news right after the 8 o'clock news. There are now 11 Bitcoin ETFs, but I don't know how far that will go. This is dealing with a lot of trades. People are getting in for a short time to feel better and then leaving. But businesses and the shopping sites are going to move in. Then we'll look at the value of shortage. I don't think Chairman Gensler will stay at the SEC after it's over, regardless of who wins. I believe he wants to be a politician, some kind of political appointment. So he might go that way if Joe Biden is re-elected, or he might go here, or he will go all the way if a Republican is nominated. So the SDCC could take its time. But I think the court cases have spoken pretty clearly. We have the Coinbase. You will learn a lot about what is not safe during that trial at the meetings. That does make it more likely that Ethereum will approve it on the spot. Even though the Gensler might get in the way, we think it will be okay. Cathie Wood also talks about how investors are very excited about the Bitcoin ETF, which shows how important digital wallets are. The crypto world can't wait to see what happens next. As these new ideas and the SEC's choices about future ETF approvals are likely to have a big effect on the direction of the market in the days and weeks to come. I think that Coinbase will do us a great service through the courts, and I also think that the courts will do us a great service. This kind of thing has happened before in history. It was when swaps were first introduced and the SEC and CFTC were competing to be in charge of regulating them. This is likely to go all the way to the Supreme Court, where it forced laws that gave both the SEC and the CFTC a role in overseeing swaps. That being said, those jobs are very clear and don't overlap. I believe this will also happen. This might be important during election years. That's one reason why I think so many lawmakers are learning so much about this. For example, when I heard Congressman French Hill a few weeks ago, I thought, wow, he's learned so much so quickly. This is wonderful. Know how. And knowing things gives you power. Getting educated is clearly the way to learn. So yes, I think the chances of passing a law are very high in the next 2 years. I'm not sure how high they are though. It's not hard for me as it is not election year. I am aware that there are crypto voters who only care about one problem, and I am sure that Washington is hearing them loud and clear. I believe that when someone puts something in their portfolio, they're more likely to pay attention to it and maybe learn more about it, even if their managers put it in. It goes without saying that the counselors need to learn too. So I think that as more and more people learn and understand, they will understand that Bitcoin is both a tool and a way to make money. Then they will know why it's so popular in emerging markets and why everyone should have a Bitcoin as a form of insurance. The regional bank problem of last year was a great example of this. A lot of people were shocked, I think. When regional banks, the CRI or regional bank index were going down, Bitcoin took off. It went up between 40% and 50%, and it was the first time that many more traditional buyers paid attention. What the heck did that do? There should be a risk on this product. It's meant to be very unstable and closely linked to risky investments. What just took place? It also has a risk of value. Why? Because there isn't any partner risk like there is in banks. You're not going to be held hostage like you did in 2008 and 2009 when you didn't know if your bank would stay open or if you'd get any more than the $250,000 FDIC guarantee from it. This doesn't happen when you learn about Bitcoin. How? How many things have risk off and risk on? I think that as more people come in, they will look at this and compare it to the way things are usually done in the business world. Also, guess what? This is better. This is also why developing markets say they need an insurance policy when economies are hyperinflating. It's a way to protect yourself from market risk, inflation, and deflation. Cathie Wood talks about how important the crypto market is becoming by saying that institutional buyers are driving up prices because real money is now coming in. She thinks that Bitcoin will make big gains over the next 3 months, which shows that it will always be useful as an asset and a way to protect against currency devaluation. Wood thinks that Bitcoin will keep going up at an exponential rate until the 2024 split. She has also been paying attention to the progress of crypto legislation in the House this year, which shows that people are becoming more interested in the crypto area. Crypto law may have trouble passing because of opposition from politicians, but Wood tells the companies she invests in to spend a lot now to take advantage of the huge growth potential. She thinks that ARK's focus